5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Williams. Merry Christmas to you all, and Chairman Williams, thank you for that great reception last week. Appreciate the cheer that was spread. I really appreciate you holding this hearing today. In my home state of Minnesota, small businesses have suffered, and too many have been forced to close their doors because failed policies have allowed criminals to wreak havoc. We have a widespread fraud epidemic that is just crippling our state government. Minnesota Governor Walz, his incompetence has put a spotlight on our state by enabling this rampant fraud across federally funded state-administered programs. Thankfully, Administrator Loeffler has recently ordered investigation into the state of Minnesota and pledges to hold those responsible for these schemes and outright crimes. And we really appreciate that help. Mr. Stallings, during the pandemic, many small businesses across southern Minnesota and across this country utilized the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program administered by the SBA. However, we have had many reports that there were fraudulent actors who abused these programs during the Biden-Harris administration for their own economic gain and outright crime. Given the lack of action on fraud and this and other programs administered by the SBA, what policies has the SBA put into place to ensure that moving forward taxpayer dollars are directed to those who truly need them?
So we're taking a more in-depth look at the application, the applicant themselves, ensuring that they meet all our regulations. I think one of the things that we got away from was the oversight because of the speed in which we attempted to move at. And we leveraged technology and thought technology was going to be the answer. And the reality is in disaster, I've never been around a disaster that a criminal didn't find a way to take advantage of. And we have to know that going into the disasters that we operate. I spent the first portion of my career in public service as a state trooper, and so I spent a lot of times doing investigations. I understand what you have to look at, and the questions you have to ask, and the rocks you have to flip looking for the places you have to go. So we're taking that mindset, looking at how do we change our perception of the applicant, not that they're good or bad, but are you truly eligible? And if that means slowing down just a little bit to confirm eligibility on the front end, what we've seen is it's cutting out. We put some stipulations in place, and I don't have the numbers right off. I know in our first month in January, by critiquing some of our programs, OCA reported out almost $400 million in fraudulent applicants that they had identified that we needed to start looking at through the disaster loan program. And so I think for us, it's slowing down. You know, yes, you want to be told you're getting your loan in a hurry, and I get that. But at the same time, we want to be accurate. I use maybe a poor analogy, but when I was a state trooper standing on the firing line, I couldn't miss fast enough. It did me no good to just get rounds down range if I never hit the target it was intended to hit. So slowing down makes me accurate, and that's the mindset we're going into.
Thank you for that, and thank you for your commitment and your focus on this fraud issue. You know, $400 million that was caught, that's $400 million that could have went to our small, struggling businesses, excuse me, all over this country. And so they're really, you know, these fraudsters are preying on the goodwill of the taxpayers of this country. And these are well-intended programs that we're working our tail off on here to make sure that we can fine-tune and deliver, to your point, as quick as we can. But knowing that there is crooks out there that are taking advantage of us. So it's great to hear your focus. How has your experience been with cross-agency communications? So, you know, a lot of times we'll hear in the news, Minnesota, we're starting to see it, that, you know, the USDA isn't getting the data from the state, so we don't know if the Social Security numbers are good or if this person is getting benefit A in this state and also that same benefit in state B. Give me your experience or your take on how agencies are working together.
So coming from state government, that was something I knew was going to be a hurdle. I had trouble as a state director sometimes getting information from my federal partners. So coming in, something we've done is I've been very adamant. I've went and sat down. I've made the calls. I've made the trips over. I didn't expect them to come and want to become my friend. I went and became their friend. We're working on our MOUs to make sure we're swapping our data equitably, making sure that we have those conversations. You know I'm a trusted partner. This is what I'm here for. We're moving. I just remind everybody, my focus is the disaster survivor. So every holdup we have is another day someone is out there maybe living in a hotel or a motel because their home has been destroyed and our delays are affecting them. As long as I keep the focus on the disaster survivor, I think it's also reminding other partners that's all our focus, and it's making our relationships work.
Appreciate that, and I stand ready and continue to be available to work with you as we really get to the tip of the spear on this fraud and make sure it doesn't happen. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield back.